It was
Yes. Yeah.
All right. Markia celebrated her full transition into full-time from dual career. Well earned. It was a lot of fun. Thank you for creating a reason for us to get together. And several times last night, Candace and I looked at each other and said, we got to do this more often. So thank you for kind of reminding us that although we live in a Zoom world, it seems like it's certainly fun to hang out in person too. So thank you for those that came, and congratulations again, Markia, for your accomplishments. Let's do what we did yesterday. I'll start it off. I am grateful that I woke up and that I feel good, and that we get an opportunity to impact our community and our peers today. That's what I'm grateful for. Charleston, what are you grateful for, sir?
First, how did I know you would have come to me first? Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm grateful to being here on this call because I haven't been here in a while. So that's what I'm grateful for.
Beautiful. Okay, Tracy.
I am grateful for grace and mercy.
Okay, beautiful. You want to say anything? You want to go into any more detail, or is that good?
That's good. That's
Okay.
good.
Awesome. Lorinda.
Good morning, everybody. I am thankful for peace.
Peace. Candace.
Yep, peace.
I am grateful for choices. I am grateful that every day I get to wake up and have a choice about how to spend my day.
Okay, I like that. Markia. Jenny.
I'm grateful for family and friends and the support that I have around me.
Excellent. Galaxy Note 8. What are you grateful for, Galaxy Note 8? All right, we'll come back then. I think we covered everyone, right?
Yeah, just
Okay.
Markia and Galaxy Note 8.
What?
I said just Markia and Galaxy Note 8.
Okay. All right, Candace, teach us.
I didn't get my name called. I'm grateful for. I'm about to get ready to go to a conference in Miami, so grateful for the knowledge I'm about to get.
Awesome. Awesome. All right, Candace, take us away.
Okay, do we have Ignite this morning?
We do.
Okay, so I'm gonna go fast again. First of all, who did the homework from yesterday?
Candace, I didn't do it last night, but I'm going to do it today.
Fantastic. I love that, Tracy. And remember on day one, I talked about the change or die study. Most of us won't change what we're doing, even if it means our life depends on it, unless we're encouraged by coaching, unless we have accountability. So, and also it's our will, it's our choice. So the fact that you're making some uncomfortable changes to do the thing, to do these videos is just, my hat's off to you. And also hats off because you drove the farthest to get to the get together last night. So I just think that's fantastic. And my hat's off to you. And I'm sending you prayers for a safe travel the whole time.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. All right. So are you starting? So since I know Ebony did her video too, and Lorinda, you did too. Are you starting to get a little more comfortable with video, or are you starting to feel a little different or getting in the rhythm? What's happening with that?
I will be getting in the rhythm after the event last night. I had every intention of posting and didn't think about it until this morning. I'm on the road. I'll take care of that.
Well, you can post it today. I mean, I didn't give a deadline for homework. Oh, you're frozen. Yep, you're frozen.
Okay, am I back?
Yeah,
Can you
you're
hear me?
back. Uh-huh.
Okay. I'm gonna incorporate that into the daily routine.
Excellent, excellent. I love doing my little 10 video texts. It's quick and easy, and it's gotten, I have to tell you, since I started last year, it's gotten so much easier. And I still get great results from it. So I'm glad that some of you are trying this. And Charleston, since you were not here, what this is, 5-day challenge is about is getting comfortable with video and using video as a way to communicate. For instance, instead of just sending a text saying, hey, how are you? You get on the video, you get on your text and you press the video button and you just say, hi, this is Candace. We haven't talked in 5 years. I was thinking about you. I'd love to get together and find out what's going on with you. Give me a call so we can set up a time to get together and chat for a minute. And that's all it is. It's just, but people, we are wired to respond to faces. That's why face-to-face communication is so much better. And then why we love TV, because we're looking at faces. Excuse me just a sec. Okay, so today is going to be all about content. And there's a book that I recommend if you haven't read it. It's called Atomic Habits by James Clear. And what it talks about is tiny changes get remarkable results. So we start to make, it's like we always use the gym as an analogy and athletes as an analogy, but we go to the gym and maybe we can do, like for me, maybe right now I could do 1 push-up, but in a month's time I could do probably 5 push-ups, just because I'm starting to practice and I'm making tiny little strides. So it's the little, and I call it pivoting towards something. So if you don't have to make a 180-degree turn, but you can do a pivot toward health, pivot toward accountability, pivot toward lead gen, pivot toward whatever it is your goal is, and your habit becomes ingrained then when you start to do things like that. All right, marketing is attraction. So there's a difference. Everybody understands the difference between prospecting and marketing. Prospecting is when we are actively lead generating for business, calling expireds, door knocking, open houses, using our 36 touch for our sphere, actively prospecting. Marketing is different. Marketing is about attracting people to us, widening our base to people that we don't know yet, maybe. I think for instance, when you think about industry leaders like Apple, every time I see that little apple with a bite out of it, I want a new Apple product. I don't know why, but I do. I just want I want something new that's Apple, because I don't have an Apple computer, but I just love their marketing and their design. Who else can you think of that has a great marketing? Think about ads on TV, for those of you who watch TV. Think about billboards you see. Anybody in particular in our real estate world who has billboards up all the time? Okay, where is everybody?
I was going to say, well, to answer your question, you could say Mark Spain.
Yep.
I think a lot of food and drink commercials are, make me want to go get a burger or something,
Absolutely, absolutely.
Cars too.
Say that?
Cars.
Yeah,
Car commercials.
absolutely. So we can learn. I mean, there's a realtor that I really like, and one of the things she studies is Fortune 500 companies and how they attract, and that's how she created her platform that she does. But marketing is attraction. So when someone has a problem and you have a solution, that's attraction-based marketing. That's the simple definition of attraction-based marketing. Somebody has a problem, you have a solution. So you can become seen as an authority instead of a commodity. A commodity is when people say, oh, can you open this door for me? An authority is when they say, what do you think I should offer on this home? Or what do you think I should ask for in negotiating repairs on this home? That's being seen as an authority. Content marketing is what big companies are using now, as we just said. And it does more for us than selling ever. It does more for us selling than ever before. So if we've got an ad out on Facebook that's pretty compelling with a video, a video ad, it brings people in while we sleep. I remember Melissa Guy put an ad out for a listing, and hi Tria, and she put an ad out. She put an ad out for a listing, and had 10 leads while she was sleeping. That wasn't even attraction marketing, but that's the power of marketing. Okay, we can attract. The process goes like this: we attract a cold audience. Somebody sees your video, and then when they like your message, they become warm. Then when they respond to something or engage, we can, for instance, let's use Facebook, for example. I showed you last week on the 100 Perfect Fans how you can go to their comment and click on their name. And if they're not a friend, you can invite them to be a friend, but you're also going to include a message to them about how great you think they are. Thank you for commenting. And I saw you're interested in this. I'd love to talk more about it. So you can use that. And then perception is reality in marketing. So whatever you put out there is what people perceive as real. Also, there's something called a parasocial relationship. We're wired from childhood to respond to people on screen because we grew up watching television, most of us. So seeing people on video helps people feel in relationship with us. I mean, the example I use all the time is Lois from Progressive. I mean, she's been in our, if you ever watch TV, Lois on Progressive has been in our living rooms for I don't know how long. And if she feels like a family member, I feel like if I saw her on the street, I'd be like, hey, Lois. That's not even her name, but that's how I perceive her, right? That's perception is reality. And I'd be asking her all about insurance. And she's an actress. But and she's not particularly extraordinary in any way. She's kind of the woman next door, right? So if you have a self-limiting belief about, oh, I have to be more beautiful, more thin, more young, more old, more mature, less mature, whatever that self-limiting belief is, just remember that it's about recognition. And when people start to see your face a lot, they start to recognize you and you kind of famous. I mean, think about all the actresses when they first start that we don't know anything about. And then all of a sudden we see them everywhere and they become familiar. And so we think they're great actors or actresses. Anybody have any comments or questions so far? Are you getting this? It's quiet out there today. Maybe we shouldn't party so much. Okay. All right. So you only have 6 seconds to grab someone's attention in selling. That's why what I would ask for you to do, this is not part of the action steps for today, but what I would ask you to do is go to your Facebook, go to your Instagram, go to TikTok. Don't go set your timer so this isn't an all-day thing, but scroll through and see what captures your attention and make a note of it. What was it about it? Was it a photo? Was it the headline? I get ads in my Facebook feed all the time that say agents have stopped cold calling leads. Now they're making more money than ever before because we do it for them. I get ads like that all the time. And every single one of them captures your attention because it's like, oh, they're solving my problem of that lead gen is uncomfortable and they're going to make it easy for me. And that's my problem. I want it to be easier. And they're saying, we'll make it easier for you. So that's how they solve my problem. And that's attraction marketing. Doesn't mean I, go deep in them because I've got some experience with them, but it is how they capture people's attention. They solve a problem with that headline. So here's the process for a content video. And I talked about this on Dual Career the other night. What if you did an intro? So for instance, people are going to ask you the same old questions all the time. What's the market like? What's happening in my neighborhood? Are there any homes available? What happens now that I'm under contract? What happens when we sign a BBA? What happens at the closing table? What happens when I talk to a lender? So those are all problems that people have. There are a lot of people that won't even explore buying a house because they're afraid of talking to a lender because they're afraid to be told no. What if you did a short video, maybe interviewing one of our lenders, so you don't have to be the expert as a new agent, you can be the reporter. And that's valid too. But what if you just got with Kathy or Alec or Patricia that we met last night and say, can you tell us a little bit about what happens when somebody contacts you to find out about buying a home? And then what happens next? And what happens next? And what happens if somebody has some credit issues? You're answering questions that people are afraid to ask, and that's solving a problem. What if you did an introductory video? This is also a hack, by the way, because you can send this out to people when you come into relationship with them and they're in your pipeline. So somebody says, okay, now what? I want to find a house. Or you've talked to them and they say, yeah, I want to buy a house in the next month. Well, guess what if you sent them a video that said, so you want to buy a house? Here's the process. Here's what happens next. And it's a video where they get to see your face. Not many realtors do that. I can tell you probably less than 1% do that. That's a differentiator, but people love that. People love that. So here's the process for a content video. You have the hook. The first words out of your mouth are catchy. They identify a problem, just like we just spoke about. Then you're going to align with their feelings. I understand what that feels like. Because, so for instance, if we're talking about people who are afraid to talk to lenders, you can say, I know a lot of people are hesitant to talk to lenders because they're afraid to be told no, or they don't think they can qualify, or they maybe have some issues on their credit. I understand what that feels like because either I'm buying a home or when I bought my first home, I had some hesitation about that too, but I didn't have the cash to buy a home. So I needed to talk to a lender and find out what they knew and what I could qualify for. So I'm going to introduce you to Kathy Vitale, who's our senior lender with Shelter Mortgage, and she's going to answer some questions. Oh, and this is me. So that's aligning with their feelings. Then you're going to position yourself as an expert or a reporter without bragging. And you're going to give them a reason to want to watch that video. I mean, I'd watch that video all day long about why I should talk to a lender if I was somebody who was a renter, right? And maybe a little concerned about what I could qualify for. Then the fourth step is teaching tips and tricks or bullet points to solve a problem. You're not giving the secret sauce yet. So for instance, I did a video on Facebook when I was teaching this last year, and the video went something like this. And I don't even introduce myself first because they don't care who I am. They care about if I can solve their problem. And so it went like this. And I'll try to remember. Are you one of the people who saw your neighbor's house down the street sell for $10,000 over ask price and your home sat on the market for 6 months and didn't sell? Oh my gosh, I understand what that feels like because you get all ready to put your house on the market and you're all excited about somebody coming who's going to buy the house from you so you can move on to your journey and move up to California. And this isn't what I said, but move up to California so you can be with your family. And then it didn't happen. Wow. But that's my area of expertise. I help people who have had difficulty selling their homes the first go round. And now I'm going to give the teaching tips and tricks. Here are 3 reasons why homes don't sell. One is that
I really like that one, by the way. That's really good.
Thank you.
That's really good.
This is
So you guys should all be like internalizing, like, is there a home that's in my neighborhood or that it's in a friend's neighborhood or in a neighborhood I just, looked at homes with a client? I mean, you don't have to reference a specific property. You just have to get into the mind of the consumer and where they might be stressful, fearful, anxious, uncertain, unclear, and tell that story. And then, like Candace is saying, at the end, you become the solution to that issue.
It's a simple process, and I'll put these 5 steps in. So then I'm going to say, there's 3 reasons why homes don't sell in our market, in our hot market. 1, price. Your home has to be priced correctly, and a lot of that has to do with the perception of the buyers in our market. 2, condition of the home. The home is either as is, or it maybe needs some updating, or it needs some love. Well, we've got solutions for that too. And some of those are zero interest loans that are paid at closing. So if that's holding you back, or one of your concerns, we can talk about that too. 3 is accessibility. Buyers need to be able to get into your home when they need to get into your home. So if you have any kind of restrictions around that, that can cause a home not to sell. So there's more. And this, like I said, this is an area where I help a lot of people in. So why don't you give me a call and we can talk more about your home and have a consultation. Here's my number. So the process is the hook, align with their feelings, position yourself as an expert or a reporter, teaching tips and tricks or bullet points to solve a problem, no secret sauce, call to action, what they should do next. And the what they should do next is always contact me or click here for a free report on 5 tips to create curb appeal. And I'll be glad to share with you anything I've created because it's all R&D, rip off and duplicate and change it up a little bit. Anybody have any questions or thoughts about this? Should we get together as a group in the office and video each other and practice some things that we can put on our social media?
I like that idea.
Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be great.
Okay. All right. So we'll set a time when we can be in the office and we'll just practice and we'll kind of get everybody's video where it needs to be. And it doesn't have to be professional. Let me just say that, but we can do that. I'll get with Bill and we'll put that on the calendar. Okay, at the top, and like I said, you could use this for expired listings. You could use it in all different kinds of ways, but we'll talk about that as well. And at the top of the funnel, videos should be short. So the top of the funnel is when you haven't met somebody. It's a cold market. They don't know you. They don't even like you yet. So you need your video to be very short, 3 minutes, 5 minutes max. You're losing my attention at about 3.5 minutes. I want to know you can solve my problem quickly. So we want to speak in a manner that's engaging. I get a little more animated when I do a video. I try to, not salesy, but more like, just a little bit, notch it up around, not notch it up a click. Okay, so day 3 action steps. Day 3 action steps. Send 10 video text messages, right? Go live in the Roswell Rocks Facebook group, or you can go on your personal page or video page and post a video. You can say, I'm on day 3 of a 5-day challenge, and here's what I learned today. And this is, I'm in, and I'd love it if you mentioned productivity coaching, but you can say, I'm on day 3 of the 5-day challenge in productivity coaching, and here's what I learned today. Or something that you learned in your day. It doesn't have to be all about this. I think it's time to go live in your private Facebook group or on your personal or video page. And that's, so if we need to build up to that, we can build up to that. But if you're ready for that, just go live and you can do your video like that live. Just say, hey, this is Tracy Trent. I'm on day 5 of a challenge in my productivity coaching because I am committed to improving my business in 2022. And here's what I learned today. We like videos. That's all your video needs to say. It's just getting that the goal of this is to get people to start seeing your face regularly so that when you walk down the street, the people in your community, and we'll talk about that, but the people in your community are like, hey, there goes that realtor lady. Oh yeah. And when you get invited to a listing in somebody's home, when you ramp this up, they know you already. And they'll be like, oh yeah, we saw you on that video, we saw you here, we saw you there. It's kind of like taking out free ads. Bill, did you start to say something?
Yeah, it's the, well, first of all, I believe that the videos, our instinct is to want to make it as polished and as perfect as possible, right? And in many ways, I think that's the complete opposite approach that you should take, which is you want to show the fact that you're human, right? Like, so if I'm just trying to think of a good example. Let's say like the dog barks in the background or something, or, it doesn't mean you have to like start all over and like
Right.
you're a person, right? You got things going on. Like it's okay if I want to say it's okay if you have like a blooper. If it's a 10-second video, you could just re-record it, but you could also post the bloopers, right? I mean, you can just have fun with it a little bit. And I think the key phrase that you just said, Candace, is, it is because I'm committed to improving my skills and improving the level of service that I provide to my customers, my clients, that I'm in coaching. I take classes, I practice, and I am willing to take on challenges, right? So it's I think people appreciate the commitment to professionalism and the commitment to get out of your comfort zone. I think that gives you more validity.
Okay, I love that, Bill. Thank you. That's an important part. I think about that progressive commercial, or those progressive commercials. They work very hard to make a professional video seem more like it's a natural kind of activity. They work very hard at that. And we don't have to do that. We've got it naturally. So here's the last part, and I'll post this again in the HUD, in the PC Help and Dual Career, is 4 solutions that you've identified, 4 problems that you think people have. I talked about 2 of them, right? And if you need ideas, we can just share those ideas in the PC Help. It's not about you figuring something out. There's nothing new under the sun. So the problems are all going to be the problems. So it's just finding 4 problems that you identify that you want to solve. And then just post those solutions that you identified in the private Facebook page. Like, why didn't your home sell? Well, there's 3 reasons. Or why are you still a renter? Well, because I'm afraid to talk to a lender. I'm afraid to find out that I could only qualify for, a yurt. So, and then also I'm going to post these steps for the video. And that's what I have for you for today. Any questions? Yep.
Can I just, I want to kind of get into I just want to explore one concept really fast. And I'm just asking the question.
Okay.
Is that a real thing? Are people like afraid to go visit with a lender for fear that they might be told that it's not possible?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
if somebody can tell me that that's real, then I think that, and maybe somebody who's either been through that or has helped people go through that, maybe that would help us understand what these people are going through when they're making a choice like that. I'm not trying to sound ignorant, but that is just so out of this world to me that it's hard for me to even understand how somebody like that operates. So can somebody clue me in as to what might be going through somebody's mind when they experience that?
Bill, so you have people that have bad credit, right? So, and they have asked a particular mortgage company and they've been rejected because they're below the minimum score. And then I'm actually working with a couple of people now to get their credit up. So I don't know if they're afraid to do it, but it's kind of like when I said to them, hey, I can introduce you with a couple of people that will help you. They basically said, well, I know my credit score is bad already, but I was like, well, let me just do it anyway, because they can give you pointers on how to quickly get your score back up to where it needs to be. So I don't know if it's a complete fair, but it's a hesitation, so to speak.
I mean, I've definitely worked with people that have a desire to improve their credit and a desire to improve their financial situation. But I'm more referring to like the people that are in such denial, they're not even willing to like listen to some consult and some suggestions on how to improve it. Can anyone give any insight to like, is it just so paralyzing that you're not able to like ask for help? Again, I'm not trying to sound ignorant here. I'm hopeful that this short conversation can give us some insight on how to be a better servant, right?
So there's a couple of thoughts around that. One is that this is a great opportunity to survey renters, to say, please help me understand, why haven't you purchased a home yet? Or what's holding you back from purchasing a home? And send that survey out to renters. You could.
Yeah, it's a much better question. What is holding you back, rather than why haven't you purchased?
Yeah, what is holding you back from purchasing a home? The second thing is, if you're somebody whose family has always rented, it's kind of like if you're somebody whose family has never gone to college, Sometimes you can be the first, but if that's not an example that was set for you, sometimes it seems so out of reach. Or maybe you were taught that, our family can't own homes. I've talked to people who are like that just in volunteering, in the volunteering world. So, and then there are people who, like Charleston said, maybe they had a setback during COVID, and there are a lot of people with money renting homes. And the reason I know this is because there was a time when I worked in the world of seller financing and lease purchase, and people could put down tremendous amounts of money to have the seller to have the seller finance so that they could get things back on track, to be able to afford a mortgage, but they couldn't afford a mortgage. But there's not that many opportunities out there for that. So I do think it's an opportunity to ask those questions, and find out why people are renting. Why would you rent? Why would you
Is
rent
there,
if you buy? Is it convenience?
yeah, I was mostly I mean, I'm kind of asking the question for myself, and I'm kind of asking the question for everyone's benefit. It's like, if my nature is, if I am in a type of a disadvantaged situation, I'm looking for help immediately. Somebody can help me make progress and get into a better situation. So for people that maybe don't think that way instinctively, or have helped people that didn't think about it instinctively, is there like an attitude that you should adopt? Is there a question you should ask? Like, when somebody is so afraid to learn about how to improve their situation, how do you guide somebody like that?
And I think sometimes they don't know how to begin that. I mean, which lender? We're all on information overload. Do you call Rocket Mortgage? Do you call Quicken? I mean, you hear who do you call? I mean, I think that's part of it as well. And who do you trust? Because I think there's a trust factor as well when you're starting to make a leap like that. But
So I guess the question is what do you need to do, say, show, exhibit, etc., to give the person that may never have asked for help or never trusted anyone to give them solid advice, permission to do so? Tracy, did you want to add something?
Oh, no, my connection keeps going in and out, so
yeah, and I'll just say that Bill just gave you some problems to solve, right? So if you're thoughtful about that, how do I answer that question? How do I help that person? I mean, if you think about people, like a pool of people that could build your business like crazy and that you could help change their lives, think about renters, because some people are renting because they want to, they want the convenience, but some people are renting because they don't know they have an option. So that's maybe for some of you the problem that you've identified is, how do you talk to them? How do you ask those questions that Bill just talked about? And then the action step for today is to think about those solutions and post those solutions in the PC Help. There's plenty of renters to go around. We don't have to keep anything secret to we don't have to keep anything to ourselves.
Right. A good example might be just sharing a story of somebody that you have, obviously don't mention the person's name, but sharing the story about somebody's journey.
Yeah.
Right. Here's somebody who had previously been rejected for a mortgage, and they with my help took the following steps, got introduced to this and this and this, and 6 months later, the family was able to purchase a property, and now is in a better school district or whatever, right? So it's a matter of letting people know, sharing a story that somebody can identify with, and let that be the motivator to basically raise their hand and say, I am interested in help, and I am essentially trying to decide if you're the one I'm going to trust through this process. Anyone else want to add to that?
Yeah, and there's your video for Roswell Rocks, because if you don't have that story, you can borrow someone else's story. So your video in Roswell Rocks can say something like, hey, I'm in a 5-day challenge in productivity coaching, and I'm looking for somebody who has helped a buyer who didn't think they could buy a home and what that looked like, and how that process started, how you got them to talk to the lender, and post that video and see what responses you get, and then you can borrow that story.
There you go. All right. Looks like people are dropping off to go to Ignite. Thank
Yep.
you so much, Candace, again for your preparation and all your session today. Don't forget, tomorrow 12:30 to 4:30 is 10+ transactions in 90 days with John Prescott. That is in Roswell. Candace, you wrap up. I didn't mean to cut you short.
No, you do good. So one thing, Terry, you're first on my screen. What's your one thing for today?
To get a better understanding of my finances.
Fantastic. It was great to see you last night.
Thank you. You as well.
Tracy, what's your one thing?
I mean, how cool is that? We got somebody who just essentially raised their hand and said, "Hey, I'm interested in getting 1% better today."
Yeah. Love that.
That's fantastic.
Tracy.
Yes, so my one thing is after Ignite, I am definitely going to sit down and make some calls to my database, the people that are there, and just let them know, and not be the secret real estate agent.
Maybe
There's a lot of people I haven't told that I'm selling real estate, or so I'll start there.
Maybe your video text could be, "Hey, this is Tracy. I've got some exciting news. You might want to know."
Exactly.
Okay, good.
Exactly.
Good.
2 for 1.
Okay. There you go. Knock it out. Charleston, how about you?
Yeah, so I'm going to actually, I was going to text a few people today, so I'm going to try the video texting. So to Bill's point, it's not going to be perfect, but I'll just go and do it.
Fantastic. I love that.
Well, they're going to see your smile, Charleston, and everything else will just fade away, so they're going to hear that.
It's going to be like butter. Yeah, I know.
That nice soothing voice of yours. They're going to see your big smile. They can't see any of that when you just write
This
words.
smile?
That's what I'm talking about. That's the one.
Hey, Candace, one quick thing. When I did my video, this is how not perfect I was. A couple of people said to me, "Tracy, were you being held hostage?" During the video.
But you got their
They said,
attention.
exactly.
Yeah, that's the whole point. You got their attention. John, how about you? What's your one thing?
Well, I have to, I'm trying to wrap up a deal for a buyer. So just kind of waiting on signed docs from the seller side. And also I'm going to attend Kern's class today. But just thinking about what Bill was asking for buyers, I think some of that's fear of the unknown. So people are afraid of what they don't know, or if they come from families that might not have been taught a lot about finances, that's very personal. So they think once they talk to a lender, maybe they're locked into something. So they kind of want to wait until everything's perfect. However, you got to kind of explain to them that you can break down a blueprint for them if they find out ahead of time, and maybe kind of give them a roadmap to getting to that pre-approval spot a little faster. And I think once you educate them with some knowledge, it kind of removes some of the fear.
I love that.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you for adding that. That's yeah, I mean, education generally helps with this fear. And many people have, a lot of and I'm trying to decide which word I want to use here. They just have a lot of, I don't want to say hang-ups, because that it's almost like I can't understand what that's like, but they've got a lot of stuff going on and they need somebody to help them unravel it a little bit. But it's not a coincidence, guys, that 75% of the country's wealth is tied up in real estate. Right? So the faster we can get our communities and our people into a kind of an ownership mindset and start to each day get 1% more organized, clear, educated, excited, then they have a better shot at starting to build that wealth.
I'll just say one more thing. If you're hesitant about posting you can't hear me. If you're hesitant about posting your video in Roswell Rocks Facebook because you already did it, if it works the same with realtors. So if I'm a realtor and I see you on there posting day after day, and then all of a sudden I see your name saying, hey, I'd like to do an open house, and I know what you look like and I'm familiar with you, I'm going to call you, as opposed to somebody who's a complete stranger that I've never seen or never been introduced to. You're basically, you're marketing yourself to realtors in Facebook Roswell Rocks. So just keep that in mind. And it's not about being perfect. Like Bill said, it's about showing up, and when they stop scrolling, people will stop scrolling for a video 9 times out of 10. So especially
one that they don't frequently see. Like if Charleston's never posted videos and all of a sudden he posts a video, it's going to get some attention.
Or if they start to recognize that you're somebody who posts a video that has a tidbit in it for them, right?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.